Talk to yourself like this for just 3 days. You might smile when you hear that. Talk to myself, Jim? Isn't that what crazy people do? No, my friend. It's what wise people do. Because here's the truth. The most important conversation you'll ever have is not with your boss, not with your spouse, not even with your mentor. It's the one you have with yourself. Every day, that little voice inside it speaks, and it's powerful. It can lift you higher than you've ever imagined, or it can drag you down to the pit of your own doubt. That voice says things like, I can't do this. I'm too tired. I'm not enough. And after a while, you start to believe it. You start to live like it's true. But what if for just 3 days, you decided to change that voice? What if you said, I can, I will, I must? What if you spoke to yourself like someone who matters? Because you do. I tell people all the time, you can't go from failure to fortune until you first go from doubt to belief. And that begins with one simple thing, your words. For 3 days, I want you to become aware of every word you say to yourself. Catch the negative. Replace it with power. Speak life, not limitation. Because your words are the architects of your future. They build your faith, brick by brick. They shape your emotions, your habits, your destiny. You see, it's not what happens around you that determines your success. It's what happens within you. So for just 3 days, talk to yourself like a winner. Talk to yourself like someone who's going somewhere. Talk to yourself like a person who's not done yet, because you're not. If you do that for 3 simple days, you'll begin to see something powerful, not in the world, but in the mirror. You'll see a person you can finally believe in. Talk to yourself like this for just 3 days, because that inner voice, my friend, it's your greatest influencer, not your teacher, not your boss, not your parents, not even your closest friend. It's you. That quiet conversation that happens when nobody's watching. That voice inside your head, it's shaping your destiny every single day. See, the mind is always listening. Every word you say to yourself, it records. It believes you, and then it starts to create the reality that matches those words. You tell yourself, I'm tired, and your body listens. You tell yourself, I can't, and your mind stops looking for solutions. You tell yourself, I'll never be successful, and life says, all right, if that's what you believe. But if you turn that voice around, if you start saying, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm learning, then life begins to move differently. Because here's what I've learned. Your words are the steering wheel of your life. They don't just describe your world, they direct it. Let me tell you something simple, but profound. You can't talk defeat and live in victory. You can't speak doubt and walk in faith. You can't curse your day and expect it to bless you. That's not how life works. The world responds to your language, and your inner voice sets the tone. So ask yourself, what am I telling me? Because if your words are negative, you're programming your future for failure. But if your words are filled with belief, you're writing a new story. Now, I know what you might say, but Jim, it's hard. I've been talking negatively for years. I understand. We've all done it. We all have that inner critic that never seems to rest. But let me tell you something, you are not your past thoughts. You are not your past words. You are who you decide to be next. That's the beauty of awareness. Once you recognize that inner voice, you can train it. You can teach it to serve you, not sabotage you. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise control over it, the stronger it becomes. And before long, you don't have to fight the negative voice anymore. You've retrained it to speak life. I remember someone once told me, Jim, it's not what people say about you that determines your future. It's what you say about you. And that hit me hard because I realized I had been my own biggest obstacle, not the economy, not my upbringing, not my lack of opportunity, just me. And the day I changed that conversation, my results changed. Here's a principle to remember. You move in the direction of your most dominant thoughts. If your thoughts are filled with fear, you'll walk in fear. If your thoughts are filled with faith, you'll walk in faith. The inner voice sets the temperature of your belief. It's like a thermostat. You can't have, "I'm not good enough," running on repeat and expect to experience confidence. You must raise the setting. Tell yourself, "I can handle this. I am improving. I'm building something great." And the moment you start speaking like that, something inside you starts to shift. Now, don't misunderstand me. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about leading yourself. There's a difference. You don't say, "Everything's perfect." You say, "I'm capable of handling what's not." That's leadership. That's maturity. That's self-mastery. And that's what separates the successful from the average. Most people let their thoughts run wild. They let fear, doubt, and excuses run the show. But winners take control of the narrative. They speak with purpose. If I could give you one challenge today, it would be this. Start monitoring your inner dialogue. Just for a day, catch every complaint. Catch every "I can't." Catch every moment you speak small about yourself. Then stop and replace it. Replace it with something that builds you. Replace it with something that empowers you. Say, "I can learn." Say, "I'll figure it out." Say, "This is my time," because that's how transformation begins. Not with the world around you, but with the world within you. Remember, the inner voice is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally if you teach it to be. Train it with truth. Feed it with faith. Direct it with discipline. Because if you don't program your mind, someone else will, and they may not have your best interest at heart. So take charge of that voice. Be the author of your own language. Speak life into your future. Here's the promise. If you spend just 3 days doing this, 3 days of intentional, positive, purposeful self-talk, you'll begin to see a shift. You'll walk taller. You'll think clearer. You'll feel stronger because the world outside starts to change when the world inside does. So talk to yourself like someone worth believing in, because you are. And when that voice inside starts saying, "I can, I will, I must," that's when the real transformation begins. Words are powerful, more powerful than most people realize. They can build dreams or bury them. They can heal a heart or harden it. They can create confidence or crush it. Every time you open your mouth, you're either speaking life or limitation. And here's what I've learned, my friends. Success doesn't just begin in the mind. It begins on the tongue. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine every word you speak as a seed. Some seeds produce weeds. Others produce flowers. You plant enough weeds, negativity, doubt, complaint, and soon your life becomes a garden of frustration. But you plant enough flowers, gratitude, faith, purpose, and suddenly your life begins to bloom. The soil doesn't decide what grows. You do, because your words are the instructions you give to your future. Most people never understand this. They say things like, "I'm so unlucky. I never get a break. I'm just not good with money." And they think they're just talking. But what they're really doing is training their mind to believe them. You see, your subconscious doesn't argue. It doesn't say, "Wait a minute, that's not true." It just records and obeys. So if you tell yourself you're tired, you'll feel tired. If you say you can't do it, your brain shuts off every idea that could help you. But if you start saying, "I can handle this. I'm getting better every day. I'm grateful for this challenge," you'll start to notice you get stronger. You get wiser. You get better. I once told an audience, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." And the same is true here. Don't wish your words were lighter. Make your words stronger. Because life and death, as the old proverb says, are in the power of the tongue. When you speak defeat, you invite it. When you speak victory, you attract it. When you speak faith, you awaken it. Let me give you a few examples. When you say, "I can't afford it," your mind shuts down. But when you say, "How can I afford it?" your mind opens up. One word changes everything, from limitation to possibility. When you say, I hate my job, you close the door to opportunity. But when you say, I'm grateful for this job while I work towards something better, you open the door to growth. Your words are not just sounds. They are signals. They tell your mind what to look for, and your mind always finds what it's told to find. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore reality. No. Jim Rohn would never say that. You don't deny the problem. You just don't speak it into power. You acknowledge it, then you declare your ability to overcome it. You say, this is difficult, but I am capable. I am learning. I will find a way. That's not fantasy. That's faith. And faith, when spoken, becomes fuel. Remember, the words you repeat the most become your belief. Your belief becomes your habit, and your habit becomes your result. So if you keep telling yourself, I'll never make it, that's not just a thought, it's a prophecy. But if you say, I'm becoming the kind of person who succeeds, that's also a prophecy, a better one. Because your life will always move in the direction of your dominant declarations. You want to change your results? Change your vocabulary. Take out words like can't, never, impossible. Replace them with can, will, and must. Stop saying, I don't have time. Start saying, I'll make time for what matters. Stop saying, I'm not lucky. Start saying, I create my own opportunity. Stop saying, I'm not enough. Start saying, I'm growing into who I'm meant to be. Every time you make that shift, you take your power back. Now, you might ask, Jim, isn't that just positive thinking? No, it's purposeful speaking. It's directing your life with intention. Positive thinking is a start. But positive speaking, that's how you give your thoughts a voice and your voice a mission. Because words are energy. They move. They create. They multiply. So speak wisely. Speak deliberately. Speak like someone who knows that what you say today is building what you'll live tomorrow. For the next 3 days, I challenge you to guard your tongue like a treasure. Before you speak, ask, will this word plant faith or fear? Will this sentence build me or break me? Will this conversation pull me up or drag me down? And if it doesn't serve your future, don't say it. Because silence is better than self-sabotage. Here's the truth. You are one conversation away from a new life. And that conversation is the one you have with yourself. So speak life. Speak vision. Speak possibility. Because when your words change, your world will too. For just 3 days, talk to yourself differently. Think differently. Act differently. Because if you can master your mind, your words, and your attitude for 3 days, you'll begin to master your life. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, 3 days? Can that really make a difference? Yes, it can. Because 3 days of awareness can spark a lifetime of change. Most people drift through life unaware of the conversations happening inside their own head. They're speaking words that weaken them. They're thinking thoughts that limit them. They're making choices that sabotage them. But awareness, even for a few days, shines a light on all that darkness. And that's where transformation begins. Day 1, the mind. Master the conversation inside. Your mind is a battlefield. Every day, hundreds of thoughts march through it. Some fighting for your success, others fighting for your defeat. And most people, they don't even notice. They just let every thought set up camp. But for the next 3 days, I want you to pay attention. When a negative thought shows up, catch it. Don't let it pass quietly. Say, no, I don't think like that anymore. Replace it immediately with something powerful. When you hear yourself say, I can't, change it to I can learn. When you think, I always fail, change it to I'm improving every time. When you feel doubt, remind yourself, faith is stronger than fear. You see, the mind can't hold 2 thoughts at once. So if you fill it with the right ones, there's no room for the wrong ones. Control the conversation inside, and you begin to control your direction outside. That's the first step, mental awareness. Day 2, the body. Act like you believe. Now, once your mind starts to shift, your body must follow. Because thinking positive and living lazy, they don't mix. Discipline is the bridge between your thoughts and your results. So for day 2, I want you to move differently. Stand taller. Walk with purpose. Breathe deeply. Eat like you respect yourself. When you get out of bed, don't drag yourself into the day. Stand up and say, let's go. You're not just moving your body. You're programming your spirit. Your posture tells your brain what story it's living. If you stand defeated, you'll feel defeated. But if you stand like a person on a mission, you'll start to believe it. And here's the secret. Your body leads your emotion. Smile, even when you don't feel like it. Take action, even when you're unsure. Go for a walk. Read a page. Make the call. Every physical action becomes a signal to your mind. I am in control. That's day 2 physical alignment. Because when your body follows your mind, momentum is born. Day 3, the spirit. Speak to your soul. By day 3, something begins to happen. Your mind feels clearer. Your energy feels higher. And now it's time to speak to the deepest part of you, your spirit. The spirit is where your dreams live. It's where hope begins. It's the quiet whisper that says, you were made for more. But here's the problem. Life gets loud. The world shouts over that whisper. And soon, we stop listening. So on day 3, I want you to reconnect. Spend a few minutes in silence. No phone, no noise, no distraction. Just you and your thoughts. Ask yourself, am I living true to what I believe? Am I giving my best? Am I walking in gratitude or in complaint? And then speak life into your own spirit. Say, I'm proud of how far I've come. Say, I am blessed and I will be a blessing. Say, I'm ready for the next level. Because your spirit doesn't respond to criticism. It responds to encouragement. And when your spirit is strong, nothing outside can shake you. That's day 3 spiritual renewal. Now, let me tell you what will happen after these 3 days. You'll start to notice. Notice your words. Notice your habits. Notice how you feel when you choose faith over fear, gratitude over complaint, discipline over excuses. You'll start to see that you were never really stuck. You were just speaking and thinking like a person who was. 3 days is not a long time, but it's enough to open your eyes, enough to awaken your awareness, enough to show you the power that's been inside you all along. So here's the challenge. For 3 days, watch your mind, discipline your body, and strengthen your spirit. If you fall short, start again. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Because once you master those 3 voices, the mind, the body, and the spirit, you'll begin to walk in alignment. And when you're aligned, you're unstoppable. Remember this truth. Change doesn't take years. It takes decisions. 3 days of awareness. 3 days of faith-filled words. 3 days of intentional action. That's the spark. That's how momentum is born. That's how new lives begin. So talk to yourself like a winner. Move like a leader. Think like a believer. And watch what happens. Not in a year, not in a month, but in just 3 days, your mind is always listening. Even when you're not talking out loud. Even when you think you're just thinking. Every word, every thought, every image, your subconscious is recording it. Now here's the key. Your subconscious doesn't judge. It doesn't say, that's good or that's bad. It just says, okay, if that's what you believe, I'll make it true. That's the quiet law of the mind. And it's both dangerous and powerful. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't argue with you. It obeys you. It builds your life out of the materials you hand it. Your words, your emotions, your beliefs. If you hand it fear, it builds a life full of hesitation. If you hand it doubt, it builds walls instead of doors. But if you hand it faith, courage, and possibility, it starts building bridges. That's the power of reprogramming your subconscious. And it all begins with awareness. When I was young, I didn't understand this. I thought my thoughts were just thoughts. random, harmless. But I learned the truth. Thoughts are seeds, and your mind is always planting. If you say to yourself every day, I'm not good enough, I'll never be successful, life's too hard, your subconscious starts to form habits and emotions to match those beliefs. It says, okay, if that's who we are, then let's make sure our actions fit that story. That's why so many people feel stuck, not because life is unfair, but because they're living inside the story they keep telling themselves. So how do you change it? How do you reprogram the mind that's been listening to the wrong message for years? It starts with this. Give it new instructions. Just like a computer, your subconscious can only operate based on what's been programmed. You can't expect new results from old code. You've got to speak new commands. Every morning, tell yourself, I am capable. I'm becoming stronger. I'm worthy of good things. I attract opportunity because I'm ready for it. Now, at first, your mind will resist. It will say, that's not true. It'll whisper, you failed before. But that's okay. That's just the old programming fighting for its life. You don't argue with it. You keep repeating the new truth. And repetition, consistent, disciplined repetition, is how the subconscious learns. Think about it. Everything you believe right now, you learn through repetition. You weren't born believing you couldn't succeed. You learned it. You weren't born doubting yourself. You absorbed it from experiences, from people, from the past. But if something can be learned, it can also be unlearned. That's the beauty of growth. Your subconscious is not a prison. It's a servant. And when you give it better orders, it starts to create better outcomes. Here's a truth to remember. Your subconscious mind doesn't care whether what you say is true. It only cares whether you say it often enough. So when you speak strength daily, it starts to believe you're strong. When you speak gratitude daily, it starts to believe you're blessed. When you speak vision daily, it starts to believe the future belongs to you. That's why I tell people guard your language. Because what you say once is a sentence. What you say every day is a belief. Now, let's talk about emotion. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. When you speak with passion, when you feel it, your subconscious listens more closely. If you say, I'll never make it, and you feel it deeply, that message goes straight to your core. But if you say, I will rise, and you mean it, your subconscious starts moving the pieces of your life to make it happen. So don't just say the words, feel them. Say it with conviction. Say it like it already belongs to you. That's how you reprogram the inner world. And remember this, your subconscious listens most when you're quiet. That's why early mornings and late nights are so powerful. Those moments right before sleep, your mind is open, receptive, soft. So before you go to bed, don't feed it worry. Feed it vision. Speak good things. Say, tomorrow will be productive. Say, I'm grateful for today. Say, I'm proud of how far I've come. When you do that, you fall asleep planting seeds of progress. And when you wake up, your subconscious has been working overnight to make those seeds grow. That's not theory. That's discipline. And it works. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But here's the hidden bridge. Your subconscious mind is the worker that builds that bridge. And your words, your beliefs, your emotions, that's the material you give it. So don't hand it cheap material. Don't feed it doubt and call it realism. Feed it strength. Feed it gratitude. Feed it direction. Because your subconscious is always listening, and it's building exactly what it hears. You can't control every thought that enters your mind, but you can control which ones you feed. You can't silence every fear, but you can decide which voice gets the microphone. So speak wisely, think intentionally, and remember, your mind is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally when you learn how to lead it. Here's the challenge. For the next 3 days, pay attention to what your mind is listening to. Catch yourself. When you hear old programming, I can't, I'll fail, it's too late. Don't argue. Just reprogram. Say, that's the old me. The new me is learning, growing, becoming. Because one day, that new voice will be louder. And when that happens, you'll realize you've not just changed your words. You've changed who you are. Your subconscious is listening right now. So tell it something worth believing. Say, I'm ready. Say, I'm capable. Say, I'm becoming everything I was created to be. Because once your mind believes it, your life will start to prove it. You've talked to yourself differently for 3 days. You've challenged your thoughts. You've watched your words. You've awakened your awareness. And now something begins to happen. You start to feel different. You start to think different. You start to be different. That, my friends, is the beginning of the new you. The new you doesn't wait for the world to believe in them. The new you believes first. The new you doesn't listen to doubt. They listen to direction. The new you doesn't just speak to survive. They speak to succeed. Because at this level, you've learned the greatest truth of all. You are the voice of your own success. No more waiting for permission. No more waiting for motivation. No more waiting for the perfect moment. You create the moment. You build the motivation. You speak the words that move mountains. Let me tell you something powerful. The old you was built by accident. The new you will be built by design. You see, for years you may have been running on old programming. Words from your past, opinions from others, fears you never questioned. But now you've taken back the microphone. You've stepped up as the narrator of your own story. You've learned that if you don't control your inner language, it will control you. And if you don't guide your mind, it will wander back into limitation. So the new you doesn't let that happen. You wake up with purpose. You speak with intent. You lead your thoughts instead of letting them lead you. I often tell people, success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. And who is that person? It's the one who speaks with conviction. It's the one who acts with discipline. It's the one who believes before the evidence shows up. That's the voice of success. Because here's what's true. You can't rise higher in life than your self-image allows. And your self-image is shaped by one thing, your inner dialogue. You become what you continually say to yourself. So if you talk strength, you'll grow strong. If you talk faith, you'll start seeing possibilities. If you talk victory, you'll start expecting it. But if you talk limitation, you'll live it. If you talk excuses, you'll collect them. If you talk failure, you'll keep finding proof of it. That's why the new you guards the tongue and disciplines the mind. Because you've learned words create worlds. Let me give you a picture. Imagine your future as a blank page. Every day you wake up, you hold the pen. The question is, are you writing your own story or letting someone else hold the pen? The new you says, I'll write it. I'll shape it. I'll define what this next chapter looks like. You see, you can't rewrite your past, but you can re-script your future. And that begins with your voice, the words you speak about yourself. Now, here's something powerful to remember. The new you doesn't just talk differently. You walk differently. Because true transformation isn't just in your words. It's in your habits. It's in your consistency. It's in the quiet decisions you make when nobody's watching. When your mind says, stay comfortable, you say, no, growth lives on the other side of discomfort. When your fear says, don't try, you say, I'll learn through the process. When your old self says, that's enough, you say, not yet. I'm capable of more. That's how the new you talks. That's how the new you thinks. And soon, those words aren't just motivation. They're identity. Now I want you to picture something. It's 6 months from now. You look in the mirror, and the person staring back isn't the same. You're calmer. You're stronger. You're more focused. Not because life got easier, but because you got wiser. You stopped listening to doubt and started listening to discipline. You stopped echoing fear and started echoing faith. And people will notice. They'll ask, what changed? And you'll smile and say, I changed the way I talk to myself. See, this journey was never about perfection. It was about awareness. It was about taking back the power you gave to negativity. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't get better when you complain. It gets better when you do. And the new you doesn't wait for a better day. You speak one into existence. You say, today will be productive. You say, today I'll make progress. You say, today I'll keep my promises. That's not just optimism. That's leadership. And the first person you must lead is you. So as you move forward, remember this. You are no longer a victim of your inner voice. You are its author. You decide what story it tells. You decide what words shape your day. You are the voice of your own success. So speak with vision. Speak with faith. Speak like your future is listening, because it is. And if you do that for 3 days, for 3 weeks, for 3 months, one day you'll look back and say, that's when it all began. That was the moment I met the new me, the one who believed, the one who acted, the one who finally took control of the conversation within. And that, my friends, is where the miracle starts, inside you. So my friend, we've come to the end of this journey. But remember, the end is only the beginning. You've learned how powerful your inner voice truly is. You've discovered that the conversation you have with yourself is shaping the life you live every single day. And maybe for years, that voice wasn't kind. Maybe it was full of doubt, fear, and hesitation. But now, you know better. Now you understand that the words you whisper inside can either build your world or break it. So here's the truth. If you want a new life, you must speak a new language. If you want a better tomorrow, you must start talking to yourself like someone who deserves it. Talk to yourself like someone who's destined for greatness. Talk to yourself like someone who's already overcoming. Talk to yourself like someone who refuses to quit. Because that's who you are. You're not the product of your past. You're the architect of your future. And your blueprint starts with your words. Let me tell you something. Success isn't found in the noise of the world. It's found in the quiet confidence inside of you. When you say, I can, I will, I must. It's when you stop waiting for the perfect day and start making this day count. It's when you stop letting fear write your story and start letting faith hold the pen. That's where power begins. That's where confidence is born. That's where your new life starts. So I challenge you once more for just 3 days. Talk to yourself like the person you want to become. Think like them. Walk like them. Speak like them. Because soon you will become them. That's how success begins. That's how transformation takes root. That's how ordinary people turn into extraordinary leaders. And when someone asks you someday, what changed for you? You'll smile and say, I changed the way I talk to myself. That's where it all began. That's where it always begins. So go ahead. Step into the next chapter of your life with boldness. And every morning when you wake up, look in the mirror and say, I am strong. I am capable. I am becoming the person I was meant to be. Because when you talk like that, you don't just motivate yourself. You reprogram your destiny. And that's the secret, my friends, to becoming unstoppable.